Welcome back to the We Live It podcast. We're live here at Cooper's Barbecue in historic stockyards of Fort Worth. Joined today by the co-host Casey Mabry and an elite livestock representative, Beaver Yoder, out of the Panhandle of Florida. I was trying to say the name of the town, but I would mess it all up. But want to thank everybody for joining us today. And Casey, it's been a little bit since we've sat down and visited. Looks like y'all had a pretty good show here the other day. The girls, y'all weren't, where was y'all at, San Antonio or somewhere?
Yeah, they were down. There's a little prospect show down around New Braunfels. Our friend Jay Dudley puts it on. He was actually my meat judging coach in college, and so we go down there and support it. All the money that he gets from that, he gives back to the kids at the major stock shows and then like their district show at the sale. But it's always good to get down there. Yeah, it was a fun time there. But.
What was the deal with the piñatas? I mean, how did all that work out?
Jay, he's from that area, and he's got. He's just, like he speaks fluent Spanish. He's just super involved in that culture, and he bought a couple piñatas. They were actually made in Mexico, and he sent one of his guys down to Laredo to pick them up. And then he said, "Hey, if you're mad at the judge, we're going to have a piñata at the end, and I guess you can just take all your anger out on that piñata." So it was actually a pretty neat deal.
It was a life-size piñata, like big as the Hereford Bull behind you. It was big. It was pretty cool.
It got a little violent because you stuck a bunch of little kids around there, and whenever that piñata busted, they jumped, and like all the 18-year-old kids, because all of them were chasing – the little kids were chasing Starburst, and the bigger kids were chasing $20 bills.
Cash, the cash. So, well, that's good. That's good.
Yeah, but a lot of stuff's changed since then, man. The last time we were here, the market was a little bit set back, and then there's a lot more optimism out there today that we've got. But it's been good.
Yeah, it looks like this deal's trying to do it again today. So I mean, we got a little over 9,000 head on there today. So if you want to tune in at 11 o'clock, we start at 11 o'clock sharp. We got a lot of good yearlings. We got a lot of supplemental lots that weren't on our original catalog that we posted yesterday on supplemental lots. So be sure to get in there and look at those while you're at it on the searchable catalog or the bidding platform. It's on either one of them. So Beaver, we'll kind of get right into you. Kind of tell us your backstory, your family, your wife, your kids. Where you grew up, kind of what you grew up doing.
Thank you, Ty. Town is Alpha, Florida. It's not necessarily a place that everybody knows about, but it's in the Florida Panhandle, just right below Alabama. Matter of fact, we live close enough that our four daughters, the closest hospital is Alabama, so they're native Floridians, all born in Alabama. So that's how close we are. 30 miles the other way is Georgia. So. At times I graze cattle in Georgia, Alabama, and Florida, but it's all within 40, 50 miles of home. And so it's right there in that really, really unique part of the Florida Panhandle. 3 miles from the time zone change, so we live in 2 time zones constantly.
Well, I bet that's fun.
At everything that we do.
So kind of tell us about your upbringing. You was more in the farming community, but first tell us wife, kids, kind of give us your kind of family deal around
my
here.
wife's here with me today, my wife Michelle. Didn't grow up in agriculture, and I was born and raised in agriculture my whole life, and so it's been a big transition for her. She's jumped into it, and we've got 4 wonderful daughters, and they've all been involved in agriculture. They've 3 have graduated from college with ag degrees in ag communications, ag economics, and the 4th one's in school now. So it's been a blessing to be able to raise them at home on the farm. They've been a part of the operation. They have a love for the cattle industry, the love for agriculture, and advocating for those things within the industry. So it's just been a great opportunity to raise my kids in this environment.
We might just to change this whole trajectory of this conversation, because you have 4 girls, he has 3 girls, I have 2 girls. There's 9 girls in between all of us. So what we probably ought to talk about is you need to give us advice.
Yeah, well, the first thing, I was sitting there and I'm listening to him, and he said, "I have 4 wonderful daughters." I was like, man, he's still alive.
It is survivable. I will tell you, it is survivable.
Well, I'm in the mode right now where it's either fight or flight, and I'm not sure I want to do either one.
Yeah.
So
you peek in the door whenever you come home.
You know what's really interesting? I have 2 brothers and 2 sisters that don't live there on the farm. But I had 2 brothers that are not part of the operation, but they live on the farm. One has 3 daughters, and the other one, half a mile away, has 4 daughters. There was 11 Yoder girls, all within 1 mile right there.
Oh my goodness!
It was really fun raising them. But yeah, traditionally I grew up on a dairy and row crop operation. So that part of the country, South Alabama, South Georgia, that's big peanut and cotton country. It's really high productive irrigated farm ground, and we're kind of on the edge of that where I grew up. I'm very fortunate, born and raised right there, lived there my whole life, and when I was 19, I lost my dad, and I took over the operation. I've been there my whole life, and so from there, we after we lost my dad and the family, my brothers and sisters grew, and we changed, and we sold the dairy operation. Our row crop pretty big for a while, cotton and peanuts and corn, soybeans there, and really, really enjoyed that. And so I have a very unique perspective from in the cattle business of from the dairy when we had cow herd, had just being raised in the dairy industry, understanding the nutritional aspects and the breed back of cattle, so I could carry all that into the beef herd deal. So I for a while there I had a bunch of cows, but I just kept learning as I was younger. I just wanted to be a grazer, wanted to learn how to graze these stocker cattle and see the opportunities in putting some cattle together and grazing cattle, marketing cattle. And so through the years, less farming, ended up less cows, and now all I am is just grazing cattle. We put together stockyard calves, precondition them, background them, graze them out on contract grazing with some other farmers to graze for me, and then market them through live ag. So it's a really neat circle.
That's a good deal. So in your area, if somebody wants to get a hold of you to market their cattle through Elite and through yourself, through live ag, how's the best way to kind of look you up?
Yeah, so obviously live ag is got website with contact and does a great job with being able to easily find reps in your local area. So obviously through that platform there. As we've learned before at other podcasts here, Elite Livestock is our southeastern group of live ag, and I was fortunate enough to be able to join that group 4 years ago, and I've learned a ton about the marketing side of cattle through that process there, and have really appreciated the opportunity to market cattle. It's really fun for me. That has become my new passion, is going into a set of cattle and just really making a nice set of cattle to load for a producer, for a customer on the other end. That's really become a fun part of what I do.
It's neat when these guys see, like for yourself, for instance, you was a seller for a long time, and that's what you did. You sold cattle, somebody else marketed them for you. Now you're on this side, you're marketing cattle for other sellers, and now you see both sides of it. And that's what makes it so good to use somebody like yourself that, okay, now I've been on both sides of it, so I know in turn what these buyers are going to need, what they're going to want, a fair slide, a fair shrink, and other than just being a seller where you're wanting it all one-sided. And that's not saying nothing bad about them, but that's just the nature of the beast. But when you have done both, you can kind of...
It's truly which side of the fence you're on. But and I've been fortunate to be on both sides of the fence. But for many years I was just a seller. And I would push a rep. That's all on you. It's not me. And when you get on this side of the fence, you understand both sides of both the seller and the customer where we're sending cattle to, and it's made me a better producer, and it's made me a better marketer of the type of cattle we're marketing. Even selling my own cattle or selling for another farmer or producer in the area as a seller, it's really opened my eyes to some new ways of looking at things. So yeah, I've really appreciated the opportunity to get on this side of the fence, and kind of ties the whole circle together.
Beaver, what are you seeing in your area? I mean, I think like as far as people getting into the business, what are numbers looking like? From where you're at, it's totally foreign to China. I mean, we're right here in our backyard, So what's going on in your specific area?
Yeah, so our area of the country there can grow forages at times of the year when the rest of the country can't. So there's a huge opportunity to graze calves in stocker cattle in our area and make feeders and then bring them on west. But like Florida, it's a cow-calf state. There's a lot of calves that come out of Florida, and so many times those calves have a long haul. So there's a lot of opportunity that we could utilize winter forages in South Georgia, South Alabama, South Mississippi. Those calves don't have quite as far as transition to the western part or panhandle of Texas or such a place as that, where we can keep those cattle there, stop them off, create value for those producers, both the cow-calf producer and a farmer. So there's a ton of value there. It is a challenge, though. We are in an area of high growth, and the state of Florida has a governor that's promoting growth within the state, and so it's really becoming a challenge to be able to keep producers profitable in a high growth area, and so we need to continue to seek ways to keep those folks in that business and keep them profitable and healthy.
I mean, we're experiencing the same thing in this area right here. I mean, probably a very similar situation from a political standpoint where a lot of people want to come here, and it's definitely changed the dynamics for sure. So the guys that own the land benefit from it. The guys that are grazing the land or renting the ground or whatever, they're the ones that don't necessarily do that. But I did spend some time in Florida, like when I was working for Cargill and buying, we were getting cattle out of that Florida area. And one thing that I was very surprised with is, because in my mind I'm like, we grow grass in that area, there's plenty of rain, but that grass, it just pretty much kind of maintains the cows, and you really can't grow cattle on it. But so we used to take a lot of those Florida calves into the feed yards in the Texas Panhandle whenever I was working for Cargill, and then we would experience like high death loss and bad deals. So it's interesting you guys pick that opportunity up, because you can make that animal actually better and then perform there, and then it's kind of a win-win on that side. But it's interesting to kind of think through that and where your location is and how all that fits.
Make a harder animal is what they can do. They can stop them calves off and make a hard true yearling and not have those health issues.
Yeah, if we can, if folks like myself and other producers that do what I do, and it's a small group of folks. It's not a large industry across South Georgia, South Alabama, Florida Panhandle. It's kind of a small minority of us that do this, but there's a lot of cattle that are grazed in that manner. But because of some past issues or potential issues, we can keep those cattle closer to home. We can grow them there, and in turn it creates value for that original cow-calf producer, to be able to know that they can stay closer to home, they can get hardened up, make a good hard true yearling, and then they can go on to the next phase.
Yep. What you also are big involved in the Florida Cattlemen, so kind of tell us what your role is there. You're in part of the leadership role there.
Yeah, thank you. A few years I'll be incoming president. We have a very unique method in the Florida Cattlemen Association, and it's not a hard and fast rule, but there's a method that we all come along in succession over 6 years' time, and part of the leadership, and you work your way up to the president of the association. The unique part of that is afterwards we rely on our past leadership for guidance, almost like a grandfather figure, and so there's a very big leadership camaraderie within the state of those that are coming up, and then those that have been out of the leadership, and we constantly are continuing to stay abreast of the issues within the state. So it's been a really unique opportunity for me. I'm up in the Panhandle. The larger operations are down in Central Florida, South Florida, And a few years ago, a couple of the past presidents came to me and said, "Would you consider doing this?" And so, wow, a farm kid from North Florida, that's kind of out of the norm. And so it's I'm very appreciative of the association and the membership that would put that kind of faith in what I could bring.
Well, that's pretty cool, man. That's neat to have people that are involved with us, that are involved in different industry affairs and stuff like that. Because we got to stay involved, and if we want to mold or shape the future of this industry, we have to stay involved and have our inputs there. So,
those of us that are in production side of this, we're so busy. We're so busy, but it's really important from a political standpoint. We have once a year, we have what we call Boots on the Hill. We go to Tallahassee, and we just have the big gathering of all of us from Florida, just producers, and we meet with every individual senator and state representative across the entire legislature in the state of Florida. And we send a group and we send a package, and it's just amazing what that involvement does for the state. If not, it will be a dying industry really quick.
Yeah. Well, thank you for that. Thank you for all you do. Kind of start wrapping things up here. Thank you for being on with us. Thank you for being involved with Live Ag and for everything you do in Florida for us. In case you want to kind of give a little market update before we get going here.
Yeah, I mean, you think back to a couple of weeks ago, there's been a lot of things that have changed. We had an announcement that we were going to lose a packing plant, a couple of weeks ago, and it looked pretty rough, right? There's lots of different things that are looming out there that are trying to knock this market down. But you know what, man? This thing's resilient. It's fighting back. It's good. It's strong. Market's up big again today. Cash markets in the north, as we're talking, last night into this morning, 225 up to 228, up into pushing maybe even 230 in the north. Southern market's probably going to be higher than that in my mind. Northern markets, there's a handful more bigger cattle laying around there, and so that's why you're seeing this premium to the south. As far as anything else, anybody's guesses on this Mexican border deal, I mean, I think everybody's eyes are on that, and I think any kind of rumor or whatever you get out there starts to have some impact on that. And it's anybody's guess, like I said. So we're not trying to speculate on any kind of rumors or what's going to happen there. But things are good, man. I'll tell you this rally that we've seen in the last 2 weeks has been the strongest rally we've seen in cattle. Does that surprise you? Mm-hmm. I mean, I know where we were a month ago, where we were sitting here, and man, these things are, there's a lot of uncertainties, but it's strong. It's firing on all cylinders right now for sure.
Cool. Well, appreciate you. Casey, thanks for coming in today. I know you hit a little traffic jam out there today, but appreciate you coming in today. Beaver, thanks for being on with us.
Thank you.
We're going to start about 11 o'clock here today. We got a little over 9,000 cattle, so tune in on live-ag.com and click on there to watch the sale live. I do want to let you know that next Tuesday we have an equipment auction. That's December 16th. It goes live at 10 a.m. You can get on there right now and browse and bid, but we will do a virtual live closeout at 10 a.m. on December 16th for our equipment people. So thank everybody for joining us in social media land. Don't forget to hit subscribe and like. If you would like to join or market with us and do kind of some marketing packages, it's Katie at live-ag.com. Just reach out to her and she'll fix you right up. God bless, and we live it.